I don't have nobody to talk to, and she has these visions of Muse. And my man was just like, "But what did he do to you?" She was like, "Yo, he cut me, and then what else? And then he choked me." My man said, "Show me." I said, "What type of sadomaso sex stuff is about to go on right here? What type of sex stuff?" And
So
she
I said,
got,
yo, I didn't see no SC. I just saw an L and a V. So I'm trying to figure out
yeah.
where we're going with this.
And then he grabbed her hand and put it in his throat, and grabbed her hand and put it in his throat. And she started choking. And he was like, and she was, then finally she stopped. And I was like, yo, this chick is really crazy as hell.
It was a for shot. Antonio, we are the MCU Collective, Daredevil, Born Again, Season 2, episode number 5? Number 5? Number 6.
Six.
Requiem.
Next week is the penultimate
Oh,
episode.
yeah. Requiem.
Mm-hmm.
All spoilers, man. Got to talk about thing and talk about a thing. Subscribe. Stop playing games with
Yeah.
us. You should have
Yeah.
already done that. It is free to join. No, the barrier of entry is you clicking the button. Thank you. Okay. Um, this episode right here, Tony, as I was watching it, I okay. Overall, strong follow up to last week because like last week to me clearly was the best episode of DDBA
Mhm.
so far to me, in my opinion.
Okay.
And this was a good follow up.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there has to be some sort of you know, things that's going on as response to Vanessa dying and all of that. And I think they did a pretty decent job of most of it. There's only I say two, maybe three things where I'm like, I don't I'm not too sure. But overall, like it was a solid episode of TV. How you feel?
Mm-hmm. Same. I think it was a good episode for what it was. Especially following up, and it seems like they buried Vanessa maybe the next day, the day after, or something like that. I mean, that funeral came rather quick. Only reason I say that is because of the scene where, Buck was talking to your boy, Blake Daniel, and it was like, hey, we did yesterday, but that could just mean, what I'm saying, what they did a couple of days ago is, what it is. But yeah, it was a solid episode. This episode to me also, okay, I'm gonna tell you who is starting to annoy me on this series.
I
One
think I
Karen
know.
Page. One Karen Page. Is that who you think I was gonna say, Rashad?
Absolutely. But you know what's funny about that, Tony?
Hmm.
That's always been her character.
Yes, it has. But
Even in the
it's
OG series, she was annoying,
it was
man.
always her character, but it seemed like, she kind of finally grew up. You know what I'm saying? And realized
She
what it
said as
is.
much.
Is she said as much. She hasn't grown up at all. She hasn't grown up one bit. She, I guess my big issue with her is she's hanging around these, not everybody's superpowered, but these people who have abilities and stuff like that. And she's starting to think that she's on that level. Sweetheart, you are not Frank Castle. You ain't your man, Daredevil, or whatever. And now all of a sudden, you're all about, I'm a killer. I'm a do this. You're so willing to kill Bullseye, yet you just said to Daredevil, I still have nightmares about what I did to Buck. Not Buck, excuse me.
Wesley.
Wesley, excuse me. Yeah, Wesley. You still have nightmares about shooting Wesley as your prisoner, but yet you 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 ox from daggone belly. I'm the Richard Dundada. Come chime me. You ready to shoot up? You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. And she is, if this was Star Wars, Yoda would be looking at her. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. hate leads to the dark side, and she is full blown there. I mean, I mean, she's not looking at the big picture of things. She's so narrow-minded. She think her punching on that little heavy bag and that little cut they got her like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I equate her to this. As you know, Rashad, I am. I was a heavy martial artist. I still am, but I was heavy into it or whatever. And then there would be a kid that come in, little kid to come in. You know, he starts off with no uniform. He finally gets his uniform, gets his white belt, and we start training him up on a few things. And then maybe after 2, 3 weeks, they finally say, "Hey, let's go ahead and put him in the ring with somebody." But we're gonna put him in the ring. Start off with like a higher belt, and we tell that higher belt, "Hey, just let this kid get some confidence. Don't go out there. You don't go out there and watch this kid. You know what I'm saying? Let him get some, you know what I'm saying? Throw some stuff at him so they can block or whatever like that. But you also, but you know, let them try to get some hits in on you and stuff like that. The kid do that, and you know, it's a little event to be like, all right, kid, look, you're not gonna break if you hit, and you ain't gonna get broke if somebody taps you a little bit. And afterwards, what happens? That kid start feeling himself. He got his little white belt, and you know what I'm saying? And he might get a stripe, a little stripe that says, "Hey, I moved on to the a stripe around his belt for to say, hey, I moved up a level. You know, so I done leveled up now. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to do that. Yeah, you know, they think they're bad, and then we put them in there with another person of their same rank who's doing the same amount, and we're like, all right, it's time for y'all to really go in here and rumble and see what happens. That kid get humbled real quick, fast, in a hurry. This is what's happening with Karen.
Yeah, I'm like Karen to me is is always yeah. Karen sucks. Like I just I don't really like she was just so like because it's weird. Okay, because usually there's an arc. So like her arc went from I'm scary to I
Mm-hmm.
gained my confidence
Uh-huh.
to I'm in love with two men to now like I'm shacking up with one man, but I got the other man's ideals deep down in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And now those that's clashing with the man that you supposedly love. So and Daredevil's like, Karen, this is not you. I mean, going back to Maul Shadow Lord, like Docky told Devin, like, hey man, that's Maul talking. Like he should have
Yeah.
said that's Punisher talking.
Yeah, yeah,
That is
yeah.
not
That's
you.
that's that's Frank talking, girl. That
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
not
yeah,
you.
yeah. You got Castle in your
Uh-huh.
mind, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And in your heart. So like when I look at Karen's character and she is indicative of something that I said before.
And what is that, Rashad?
They don't know what to do with the female characters on the show.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, like because her having this sharp turn to wanting to be like I'm gonna shoot him when he wakes up. Girl, you could have been shot him when he was asleep. So that like that to me is like you wanted this you trying to be like oh my god the what's my lady from Game of Thrones, let me know it was me, the Tyrells. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Olana, our girl,
yeah,
Olana Tyrell.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you trying to be Lana Tyrell. Like, girl, you could have been killed him. You waited the entire night. And then Daredevil comes in, yo, smack the hell out of her with that baton.
Hey, what the hell you doing? Whatever. You it's it's so interesting and fitting that you sat there and you referenced her. Who she's trying to be like in Game of Thrones. When I'm gonna tell you who she is acting like, and this person I hated in Game of Thrones as
You gonna
well.
say something?
Sansa,
You gonna say
and they both got red hair.
something?
And I'm not nothing against redheads. I love redheads. One of my
Oh
homegirls,
god.
shout out to Shelly. We grew up together, redhead. You know what I'm saying? But this chick, she's giving Sansa Stark, you know, and it's like, and And I know there are a lot of, and I'm off the tangent now. There's a lot of Sansa Stark stands out there like, oh, no, Sansa sucked at game, especially them last couple of seasons, thinking that she was this back great. She knew how to play the game, but she really won't no mental giant that she thought she was or whatever like that. But this chick is the same way. She's acting like she's the baddest mofo walking the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I can do that, and she's not, yo. And it's annoying. And just talking about this, she gets mad because she thinks she's finally going to pull the trigger. Daredevil stops us like, what the hell is wrong with you? And she goes off, and then she says some goofy ass shit, Rashad.
She
You
said,
you care more about these people than the people you love.
and I
What?
was like, what are you talking
What?
about?
What are you talking about? By her logic, Batman must be the same way then. Because Batman doesn't kill. He tries not his best not to kill. And she must think that Batman is a goof too for, she must think that Batman would be a goof too, even though they're not in the same universe. But it's just crazy. And Daredevil is like, yo, it has to be a better way. He's an optimist. He is definitely, and the thing is, I think he knows this because he's lived this life. He's been there where he's been wanting to kill someone. He knows that at the end of the day, it doesn't solve anything. And once again, I go back to, girl, you just said that you had nightmares about what you did, and you regret what you did to Buck, and you think shooting a handcuffed, what I'm saying, quote unquote, defenseless bullseye is gonna make you sleep better at night.
I mean, and to be honest, in her
Uh,
defense, they thought they killed that man anyway. So
yeah, that's
I
true.
do get that. So like Daredevil can't really be as holier than thou
That's very true.
as he wants to be, but still,
But I think the reason why is because when he snapped in the first episode of season one, when they had the battle and everything, and he thought he killed him, he realized it doesn't change nothing. It doesn't fade far,
yeah,
and he's trying to let her know, like, girl, like this, like the Mandos. This is not the way. This isn't the way, girl. You got to
nah,
do
it's
better.
yeah. I'm just
Yeah.
struggling with that.
Hmm.
And let's go back to the next female character that they fumbled, Jessica Jones. The character herself, and Kristen Ritter,
Hmm.
she played a character.
Hmm.
However, having her come in at the beginning of the episode and then Skeletor, haha, I see you next time, run away. I'm like, that was it. Like that's
Rashad,
it.
you know what that was, Rashad. That was nothing but fan service. It sucked.
It wasn't
I give
good.
it.
Like,
I
okay,
give it.
okay,
I understand.
all right,
It's just it
okay.
was bad fan service.
Yeah, and I hate those words, but you're not
Hmm.
lying this time. So the only okay, interesting thing about that,
Hmm.
and that is going to be the what I want to talk about real quick.
Hmm.
So they see run up in the house, her on little mixed biracial child.
What did I say last week, Rashad?
Luke Cage has some had some cream with his coffee last time, and
Hmm.
the
Very
child
good.
is like 5, 6 years old. They it's been a few years, and she
Hmm.
like living like a little bit upstate, probably like
Suburbs, that
living in the
nice house.
nice
Yeah.
house, chilling.
Uh-huh.
And then like some people run up in her house and she's and dispels them easily, disarms a bomb. Cool scene.
Hmm.
But when she goes to talk to Daredevil, she says, "Hey man, some people run up in my house with my child. Like I ain't down for all that." And she says, "Look, I mean Daredevil's like, man, AVTF is way out the jurisdiction." And she was like,
This won't AVTF.
"It wasn't AVTF."
Yeah, and she basically was like, "Y'all, this was something else." And he was like, "Well," she said, "It's the government," and he was like, "No, it can't. The government wouldn't do that. No, they would." Stop playing, Matt Murdock. You know what the hell the government do. And
And
then I love this too. And they left this so ambiguous. And I guess we're gonna find out about this next season or whenever they do the Defenders episode, whatever the Defenders um series. He was like, "You good?" And she like, "Yeah." He was like, "Your breathing says otherwise. Sounds like you got a cracked rib or something." And she's like, "Yeah, my power comes and goes now, or whatever. I don't have no control over it. Ever since I had the baby, ever since I had Danielle, it comes and goes when it wants." And he's like, "You sure you want to do this? Because that's an unreliable thing, especially if you're trying to go in there to fight, take out some people." And she's like, "Let's go." I'm really interested to see what that is about. I have my theories. I think maybe some of her powers then ciphered on over to her little Danielle. Because Danielle had me dying laughing when the bomb came in, and she just skipping around the house playing with it like it's a wand. And she says, "No, no, 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 baby, this isn't a toy. No, 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 we don't do this." But yeah, I mean, and I felt the same way, Rashad. I ain't gonna lie. I was
Yeah,
like,
cause
that's all we getting with Jessica. Like I
cause like
thought that
this like
maybe
the
this would be
scene was dope.
yeah.
Like all that was really, it was cool, but like, and after it was over, like it just was like, all right, like she can't help any other time. It just felt
And even leading up to the scene, they made it seem like they have been corresponding all along, and we've never gotten any hint
no
of it or
clue, no
no clue. And,
indication.
and I don't mean as them saying, "Oh, I've been talking to Jessica," or with him saying, "Hey, I got some people I've been talking to," and stuff. It's not been, it hasn't been hinted or nothing. It's just like, "Oh, yeah, this person says meet you at, what I'm saying, whatever, West Street or whatever," and I was just like, "Well, who the hell is this going to be?" And I was like, "Is this going to be Jessica Jones?" I was like, they couldn't find nobody else to do this. Another thing I was disappointed in was this, Rashad. Them not bringing the night nurse in to help Dex instead of
Bruh, like
the door
what
was wide open for that. Now Rosario Dawson
I'm gonna say
may have been
maybe
like,
she was busy.
she might have been shooting Ahsoka season 2 or something or whatever.
Maybe I'll give
But
them a tad bit of grace
yeah,
because when they said
but
that, I was like, oh man, don't let me find out we're gonna get night nurse.
but the doors of
And
the church were open
I
for
was like,
that to
when I
happen.
saw it was on that Ayala lady, I was like,
Yeah,
man, get out of here, bro.
get out of here.
Get
And
out of
then the
here.
fact that she's like roaming out in public again, no problem,
Bro,
like no
they like,
problem, no problem.
yeah.
Like, girl, I thought y'all was all in hiding, and you know what I'm saying, and it being conspicuous with stuff. No, y'all they roaming out in public, like everything is honky dory. Like, hey, I wasn't just captured or whatever. Like, shoot, well. I said, shoot, well, what's his name? Swordsman, he might have been right then. Y'all ain't, I ain't staying here. Y'all ain't staying. Let's go. I'm about to be out. But yeah, man, I mean, it was so much that could have been done. This episode could have been, I think Jessica Jones could have been around a little longer in this episode to find out and also to talk about like, yo, well, if it wasn't, what I'm saying, AVTF, hey, why is the government coming after you? What government agency
Yeah,
or
and
something? And it was nothing. It was just like they blew up the thing and then, all right, Jessica, thanks for blowing it up. I'll holler at you, girl.
and even when she was like they've been asking around about people like us.
Hmm.
So what like
Who the hell
that's
is they?
who was us?
Uh-huh.
Because in my mind, like, all right, it's a tougher question.
Uh-huh.
I'm about to be on my new rock stars with an outlandish question.
Speak on it, brother.
Is this going to be the way that they introduce the mutants on the street level?
Uh,
Because if they're asking around about people like us,
has to
they're
be.
going to categorize all them bastards the same.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I'm really curious if they're trying to find like, enhance people as well as mutants to be a part of like, either the government or the government running some sort of like black ops,
Hmm.
secrets, scientific stuff. Like I just really
Hmm.
wonder what is the government trying to do
Hmm.
with enhanced people now?
They could have said the name of an agency or something like that, even if we never heard of it and been like, hmm,
Hmm.
this is probably going to come up a little bit, what I'm saying, a little bit later on. But you're right, Rashad. I will say I'm not gonna say they didn't know what to do with Jessica Jones, but it was just fan service, and like, cause I know you hate, I hate fan service too as much, but a fan service, and it really is, to me, is not leading to nowhere. Where she could
Yeah,
have said something like, after they blew the thing up, they could have made mention, hey, I'm gonna go, hey, look here, this agency is this and that, said I've only heard, gave initials or something to be like, I'm gonna go talk to some other our other friends, and you know who I'm talking about, and then pieced out. We knew that that would have been Luke, that would have been Rand, hell, maybe even Spider-Man at some point. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Spider-Man at
or
some
it could
point.
have been any other litany of people. It could have been Turk. I mean,
Yeah.
since we bringing back old people, like it could have easily been anybody who was in and around at the
Mm-hmm.
time.
Yeah.
Because getting it back to my next female character that did fumble, and this is the biggest fumble of the show. I know we sound negative, but like I got to get this out of the way first. Heather, I know that they're trying to basically turn her into future Muse, but the way that they're going about it is, I don't. It's like it's no real rhyme or reason. So
I'm gonna say this is what I think they know what they're doing with her, but the thing is the execution of it is wrong. And that's what it
yeah,
is. And
I'm
the thing
struggling with
is,
it.
and the execution with it is, this is like what, the third time we've seen her so far this season. When it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, really, on the grand scheme of things, the third time. To me, this is something that you want to build up. You put like a little sprinkle a little breadcrumb every episode of her and her manic psychosomatic problems or whatever. And now you put on top of that that she seems to be in a relationship with Buck that was pushed on by was it Vanessa kind of was it Vanessa that kind of had them during that little thing where they sat beside each other, whatever. And for, you know Buck to be like, hey girl, I know you suffering PTSD. What exactly did he do to you? And she's like, on top of, she's a klepto. She stole Vanessa's ring, which is wild, which is wild as hell or
What was that
whatever.
about?
I have no idea. Pop, and like she's like, yeah, I miss her. And then she explains that she goes on to she gives a good explanation of why she misses Vanessa so much. She was like, yeah, after I started working with Fisk and stuff like that, a lot of my friends was like, yo, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? F you, for the most part. And she's like, Vanessa was my only friend. And she's just like, I don't have nobody to talk to. And she has these visions of Muse. And my man was just like, but what did he do to you? She was like, yo, he cut me. And then what else? And then he choked me. My man said, show me. I said, what type of sadomaso sex stuff is about to go on right here? What type of sex stuff? And
So
she
I said,
got,
yo, I didn't see no SC. I just saw an L and a V. So I'm trying to figure out
yeah.
where we're going with this.
And then he grabbed her hand and put it in his throat, and grabbed her hand and put it in his throat. And she started choking. And he was like, and she was, then finally she stopped. And I was like, yo, this chick is really crazy as hell. Now, here's my thing I go to. Is it that she's always been crazy, Rashad? Or was it a traumatic event that made her go like this? It goes back to, once again, I know this is a completely different universe, the Killing Joke with the Joker. And he always says, it takes one bad day for
Yeah.
somebody to lose their mind. And that's also
Yeah.
what's a great movie from the 90s. I love it myself, with Michael Douglas, Falling Down.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
where he like had that bad day. He just went through LA on a rampage, just shooting and just acting crazy as hell. I'm just wondering, like, is it that, or has she always kind of had these little, you know what I'm saying,
yeah.
little,
Inclinations.
yeah, inclinations that
So
she's
yeah,
crazy?
and to me, it, because first it was a fascination.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like more like a some sort of like internal manifestation, and just like the the leap to that to me kind of wasn't earned. So that's the
Yeah,
only thing. Like y'all could have made her muse. I'm cool with that, making her muse or whatever, and she low key just be doing that. Like I get it. Again, I know it's a
yeah.
comic thing as well.
Like I thought they was heading towards that way, and I would have been cool if they did it when they number one, when they showed that she kept having visions of him, and then the fact this chick still had the mask. I was like,
Yeah, yeah,
oh, okay. She was pulled the mask out every once, and it'd be like the mask was speaking to her. But then when she sat there and said, "Yeah, he was a patient," and I felt him or whatever. Like, give me some of that, but you're not. Everything is just little breadcrumb, breadcrumb, breadcrumb,
yeah,
but it's not
yeah,
making, it's not connecting or whatever.
yeah. Because I'm glad you mentioned how Vanessa had them hook up at the
Mm-hmm.
dinner because now they're trying to pair them as
Mm-hmm.
part of the story. Like, yeah, like okay, here's the thing. Buck is like the most aggressive middle manager ever because he's the one that's running the entire operation.
Mm-hmm.
And Kingpin is of course, the man
The
on high,
CEO. Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
CEO. So shit, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not my bad. I ain't mean to call him middle manager. Buck is the COO.
Mm-hmm.
So he's running operations and he's really the day-to-day structure. I got to deal with everybody, put everybody in a particular place. Because even when he's talking to Blake, and he tells Blake, which I'm gonna get to the third female character, which was a, I'm glad they okay. He says, "Look,
Mm-hmm.
y'all, I know you got a thing for your girl,
Mm-hmm.
but she might be the mole." And,
Mm-hmm.
and Dan's like, "Oh no, that's my no, ain't no way." He said, "Look, you gotta give her something that isn't true and see if she leaks it or not."
And
And
what
he's like,
and he's basically saying you are letting the vagina blind you, sir.
yeah, yeah.
But
And
it's ironic he says that because I have a feeling the same type of vagina is going to blind Buck as
oh
well.
yeah, yeah.
It is
Cause think about
pointing
it,
in
cause
all
like,
those
cause
directions.
Buck has been pretty straight laced the entire show. He's
Mm-hmm.
hasn't had any sort of like emotional tie to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
He made Blake go to Albany to chop that body up
Mm-hmm.
and bury it on purpose. He
Mm-hmm.
said, "Ah, yeah, yeah, you about the life now too. So
Uh-huh.
what you're gonna do is see if it's your girl, and if it is your girl, you're gonna have to
Yeah.
deal with your girl
Mm-hmm.
because that's just what it is right now."
Mm-hmm.
And the trip to Staten Island to see, I mean Long Island to
Yeah. Uh-huh.
see his mom
Mm-hmm.
and all of that, very interesting
Yes.
because he knows deep down inside that look, I done gave her the fake leak at the train station before we left. Now I have to see if she actually does it. And
Mm-hmm.
that was his tension the entire time. Knowing
Mm-hmm.
that I brought this girl to my mom's house, it felt
Mm-hmm.
a lot like Penguin with his mom. Like that, it felt a
It
lot like that
did.
dynamic.
It did.
You
It
know, and
did.
like, he's a straight mama's boy. Ain't no
Because you
dad. Dad
think
died,
about
I guess.
think about this though, right? Because it's his birthday. Granted, I know he's mourning with
The
Kingpin. He's
worst
like, yeah,
birthday ever.
yeah, he like I gotta mourn with this dude, stuff like that. But she made a good point, was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you're going out with your friends, partying, strippers and stuff like that. And he's like, nah, I ain't got no friends for real. I'm just gonna go around my mom's house or whatever. And I was like, what? Like, you really, and then the fact that you, like I said, all that stuff happened with Buck, and she was like, "Well, I'll go with you," and then finally you get there, and he was telling the truth, like, just going around, I'm mama's boy, I'm going around my mom's house or whatever. And before he goes there, he does feed her some false information. He says, "Look here, I'm just telling you something. This is
Don't
important.
tell
Life, no, body.
nobody.
This is like some life depending on the line. Don't tell nobody. Because if this gets out, I don't know if I can. He was like, he didn't say that yet. He was like, if this gets out, I don't know what's going to happen. And she was like, what? He's not going to run for re-election. And she went, I beg you, what? And she got it. I was like, girl, you are in danger. Calm, temper your expectations. I was like, bitch. I was like, bitch, stop playing. You. She's like,
She turned around
oh,
like, get the fuck out of here.
yeah. I thought this heifer was about to pull her phone out in front of that man. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, the girl, no. And
Boy.
she's just like, and she's like, no, he was like, no, man, it's the weight of the death of Vanessa. He just can't do it. Also, Buck kind of let her know I'm on to you too as well when she was at the when they was at the wake.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He
And he
said,
was like,
ah.
BB Ulrich, you seem to always be where the news is. So any good journalist says, he says, really, journalist? Huh. I need to talk to your boy real quick. And that's what he was like. Hey, that bitch is really good. Hey, that bitch is good. Hey, he
Get
basically
that.
like, hey, get her ass, get that hoe out of here. She gotta go, whatever. So they get to the house, and like you said, Rashad, it was straight penguin vibes with his mom and stuff. His mom is selling like look like vitamin pills,
Like
vitality,
some Amway type stuff.
yeah, Amway and stuff, and she's embarrassing him, and he's like, "Oh my God, mom, come on," and stuff, and she's like, "Man," and she's like, "Oh my baby, this and that," and then Riri does the thing. I said, "Oh, this heifer's about to really do this in this man's house." Can you tell where the bathroom is? I said, "Oh," and he's like, "Yeah, I'll show you," and he's like looking at her like, I'm gonna have to kill this vagina before I get a taste of it. And she goes upstairs, and then he looks at her jacket, her trench coat thing, and like, I'm gonna check something there. But anyway, she goes, but she don't go to the bath. She sees his bedroom, goes in the bedroom, and she's just snooping around and stuff. And I thought it was gonna be the typical jump scare. Hey, what? She turned around, he's standing there. What you think you're doing here? She's like, but that didn't happen. So she starts typing the information, but she looks in the room and she sees the picture with him and his father, and she gets a change of heart. Rashad, I'm gonna ask you a question. Why do you think she got to change her heart? Because she deleted the text message. I'm
She
gonna tell you
did.
why. I'm gonna tell you why I think, but I'm gonna see what you think.
To be very honest, I
Hmm.
don't know. Um, I like because when I was looking at the episode, like I don't really know what in that room made her have like compassion for him finally.
Okay.
Because it's because up until then, there was no real reason because unless it's just seeing that whole like seeing the real Daniel.
Hmm.
Outside of that, like I don't know.
Okay. This is what I think right here. This is just me watching this or whatever. I think that deep down, BB really does care about Daniel for the most part. Maybe not in a relationship with, but maybe starting to. Daniel's starting to grow. You know what I'm saying? He has maybe a certain type of charm or what je ne sais quoi about himself that's kind of endearing to her. I think what happened is when she saw the picture and saw the picture of him as a kid, his dad holding him and how happy he looked, I think she realized, I think he is so loyal to Kingpin because she looks at him as a father.
You're right.
And
That's good.
and I think that's what as his father. And she might be on a crusade to take him down, but I think she's also kind of empathetic to the fact of the man just lost his wife to a cause that he's trying to. I think it's a lot of stuff of that going on, but I think she was like, I see why he is, even though Kingpin is a trash ass human being. I see why, because he kind of took him under his wing and he looks at him as a father figure, and she deletes the text message and does not send that's just what I think it is.
No, that's a good observation because I just was so frustrated with the character. I didn't think about that. So explain because like I don't know, maybe I was high last night, but explain the
uh,
whole thing with the with the SD card.
okay, so if you remember, I believe 2 episodes ago, when little Ayala girl,
Yeah,
new
the
white
whole
tiger,
yeah, I remember that scene when they're outside
but she
the boxing joint.
yeah, he got the friend take the picture, put the card, and he slipped the card into her pocket. if you notice during that scene, go back and watch it, he kind of looked. I don't know if he saw it happen and he kind of turned a blind eye, but or else maybe that was a look of jealousy or whatnot. He looked at that coat, and I guess he might have been thinking, I'm gonna see if she has like any bugging device or anything like that. And he looked and he found the SD card. Mind you, she doesn't know the SD card was in there. She because that SD card, if I'm not mistaken, may be the interview with the shipping the shipping guy
Yeah,
that got killed or
yeah,
whatever.
it might be.
I think there might be a copy of that he got killed. And so it's the end of the night at the at Daniel's spot or whatever. He said mom is on a mom has a schedule. Chardonnay, you know what I'm saying? Melatonin, night night. You get ready to go and they talking and you see they get a little you see the sparks are flying a little bit, and they get ready to kiss my man. Yeah, no, I can't. Oh, he snatches away. He's like, "Look, BB, I need you to stop playing with me and this and that, blah blah blah. What do you do? Are you?" And then pulls the card. And she's like, "What do you? I don't even know what you talking about. What is going on here? Like, I don't know." And he's like, "Look, man, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Type situation." So as I said last week, BB Girl, stop playing you and you and Danger Girl, as Whoopi Goldberg said in the movie Ghost. And then they turn on the TV and they see all hell is breaking loose down at the city hall. I think it's time for us to transition now into Kingpin and
Absolutely.
what leads into
Kingpin,
this.
yeah, because Kingpin is like still at the bedside of his wife. The doctor who comes to the surgery comes in and probably gives one of the most eloquently stated
Mm-hmm.
your loved one just passed away speeches I think I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then he says, "Hey man, bring it in. Come on,
No,
bring it in."
no, the first step was when he put his hand on his shoulder. Remember, he put his hand on the pat of reassurance. He looked at that and I said, "Oh,
Oh man,
uh,
I said he about to kill this man. He gives him the most aggressive bear hug I've ever seen in my life.
I, I,
And you can hear his spine snap, crackle, and popping.
you know what's crazy? Has it really been explained how Kingpin is strong, how strong he is? Like, he's had to
Nope.
take some type of serum or something, dude. Because for real, because my man is able to punch people across the goddamn room, man. He gave this man a bear hug, snapped his back, and then even popped the blood vessel in his eye because his eye was bleeding. And even later on, the fight with him and Daredevil, you see him punching brick
Pushing
pillars
brick.
and stuff like that. I ain't talking about like a regular brick, a pillar, and like, and he kills this doctor, and I'm like, yo, nigga, you just killed the doctor in the hospital. What you gonna do?
He did
And
not
he
deserve
walks
that.
out. He walks out. Bucks is standing at the door, and Buck is like, all right, it just cleans up whatever happened to
Another
how
day at the office.
so another
Yeah,
day in the
man.
office. Buck is the fixer. You know what I'm saying or whatever. But you see Kingpin inspired, and I just want to say this. I personally understand where Kingpin is coming from. Being at the bedside of a loved one that you lost is traumatic. That happened to me before, and I understand. God
Yeah.
dang, I ain't kill no doctors. Nothing. I ain't kill no doctors.
Killing doctors was not on my mind.
Not on my mind or whatever. And so what we get, Rashad, it cuts to the funeral. And you see everybody there dressed in black, except my man Kingpin. He gonna stay fresh whites
All white.
all white, all white. And you see all the chairs beside him that were empty. I was like, well, who are those chairs for or whatnot? Because they don't have no kids. I don't know any family members on his side or her side or whatever. And they lay her to rest. And he just drops one rose on top and he leaves. By the way, the AVTF is there and all that, you know what I'm saying? All that good stuff is going on. All that good stuff is going on. And then we kind of realize what else is going on during the time of the funeral and all that. Mr. Charles goes to the docks to get his weapons. He walks up in there and is like, okay, okay. His weapons are all gone. And then we cut to a scene in a warehouse where the AVTF has the weapons and he's giving them to them because you see my man, the head dude, is like, "Thank you, Mayor Fisk," and they are excited. They got some grade A heavy military, you know what I'm saying,
Weaponry.
artillery, weaponry,
For
and
real.
so we end up seeing Fisk in his car, limo, or whatever, getting ready to pull out his phone ring. He answers the phone. It's Mr. Charles. Mr. Charles is like, "Hey there. Yeah, sorry for your loss.
Where my guns, nigga?
Where my guns at, my guy? So that, we had agreement. But I guess you ain't the guy that we thought you were. You ain't the guy that, what I'm saying, you supposed to be, and this and that. I just need my weapons." And Fisk got saying a word. He's like, "You there? Hello?" Fisk takes the phone. I said, "Oh Lord, have mercy. This is about to be a problem." In the meantime, we also saw that's when Jessica Jones and Daredevil
Daredevil
they
found the
found the
place. Yeah.
the place where the weapons were, and they went in their wreck shop, destroyed all the weapons, blew up the warehouse. And you also saw where Jessica Jones' powers faded when she stole on my man. His hand broke. Her hand was like, ah, it didn't work or whatnot. But back to Mayor Fisk. Also, during the time of loading, that one officer, AVTF officer who helped out Jessica and Daredevil, you see he's back in commission, and the dude says, "Hey man, here you go. I heard you lost this." And he was like, "Oh yeah, man, thanks. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm gonna ride with you real quick and stuff." But Fisk, you see, like I said, is spiraling. He's not talking much or whatever. He goes to City Hall. You see people that are loved ones out there laying wreaths down for Vanessa. And this is when all hell starts to break loose. You see protesters come along. "Hey, yeah, we sorry about Vanessa Fisk, but she was part of the problem too. Her husband. What about the people?" And you saw folk like, "Oh snap!" Like, yo, I said, "Yo, these are some bold mofos to do something like
Did
this."
not care.
Did not
And
care.
this is at like maybe like 10:30
Midday,
in the morning.
10:30, yeah,
It's early, yo.
early morning.
They on it, man. And that kind of like just not quells. That kind of swells throughout the
Mm-hmm.
day. And another cool part to this too
Mm-hmm.
is the repass. I'm not sure what
Mm-hmm.
y'all call it, but at the
Yeah.
repass,
I said way early.
um,
I'm sorry. Yeah, repass. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's when at the
When we get
repass.
when
I'm
we get
not
the
going to
fried
explain this to
chicken,
y'all.
we get the
Anyway,
chicken.
yeah. Get you some chicken and some cabbage. So
uh-huh.
when they go to the repass and Kingpin is still just wallowing in his misery,
Mm-hmm.
everybody else is like, look, we gotta make some moves. Because you see,
The
what's
governor.
my the governor talking to what's my black lady name? Shirley. What's the black lady
Yeah,
name?
chef. Yeah. Uh-huh. And then you see Buck talking to the
About talking to the
lieutenant.
lieutenant governor. It's like, hey,
Uh-huh.
bro.
Because
He
remember when,
says,
excuse me, before you go further, the governor was like, "Hey, with Vanessa, we know if she could at least rein him in a little bit." He
yeah,
says, "But now she's gone. I'm getting calls from all over of, hey, shut this mother effer down right now."
yeah. She looked at him. She looked at her and said, look, you up next. And she was like,
Uh-huh.
man, I cannot survive.
She said, "Listen, I barely survived it being one of the vice mayors. I
I said,
cannot
there is
survive this."
no way I can survive election season. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And
Uh-huh.
she's like, hey, you may not have to. She was like,
Word.
girl, what you mean? And then
Then
vice
on Buck.
versa, Buck is
Uh-huh.
like, look, Lieutenant Governor. She said you up next. How about we make it that you are up next right
Yeah,
now?
because the lieutenant governor was like, "Yo, she promised me. She promised me that she's done. She gonna step aside. I'm up next. She's gonna give me the full support." And my man Buck said, "Well, where I'm from, women in power really don't relinquish their power until they're dead." And he was like, We ain't a monarchy, bro. She, no, we ain't. This ain't jolly old England. This ain't the, what I'm saying. This ain't that. He's like, this ain't the House of Windsor. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I know the, bro. He's like, yeah, maybe you can help expedite this or whatever. So you have games being played all over the place with this,
and keeping with that, when the governor goes back,
Mr. Charles.
Mr. Giles is like, "Hey, what's good?" She said, "I thought I told your ass to never come here again." He says, "I know, but I am."
Mm-hmm.
And what did he tell her?
He said, This that this that bourbon I gave you? Man, this that 100 or something year old girl. This is delicious here or whatever. Your man's got my weapons, and I wants my weapons back. Antonio, you. Go ahead. I wants my weapons, and I want my weapons back now. And give me a second.
No, you good. Because she was like, um, basically, she was confused as to why he was even there.
Mm-hmm.
And then now we're seeing that the whole port situation was due to CIA backdooring weapons,
Mm-hmm.
basically to get them out to whatever country it is that they was going to. Was like, come on, yo. Now
Mm-hmm.
it's an entirely different thing now.
Yeah, it is. And like she's like, hey, we might got a solution to this type stuff or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
you got
so
all that
everybody's
going
trying to get it's everybody's trying to get Fisk out
on. Mm-hmm.
because like this is a
It's
man.
a slippery slope, man.
This is so 2019 2020 coded with Trump. Everybody and their mom was trying to get him out because like yo this can't be life, especially after COVID started. Like bro, this has been the worst handling of anything we've ever seen, just for it to be trumped by this year. So but that's what it feels like. Everybody is trying their best to get the madman
Mm-hmm.
out of office because he got way too much power and don't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, I really because of course we know this leads into Spider-Man No Way Home and also Frank Castle's Last Kill. So really curious to see how they make those moves to make her essentially the
Yeah,
mayor.
right.
You know.
So we told you everything that's going on here. By this point, it's nighttime, and the last thing I told you was that BB and Daniel, he's telling her like, "Girl, don't lie to me." And she's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." Whatever. They turn the news on, and all hell is breaking loose down at the White House. That's at the White House at the City Hall. It has been a giant protest going on. People who are wearing Daredevil masks in support of Daredevil, saying, "Where are people at?" At the same time, you know, Karen has made her way down there with Lil Ayala, with White Tiger Ayala and her crew, and they set up a projection screen. In the process, you see the dude that was the officer that was helping out Karen and them out there, and my guy that's the head of it, he was like, "Hey, you all right? Yeah, cool. Hey man, come here, let me holler at you real quick, cause stuff is starting to get out of hand." Before that happens, though, they put a video projection on the White House of all the people that were captured during the raids. And they're just like, hey, I'm a school teacher. I wasn't doing nothing. Captured. I owned the bodega. Captured. I ran the salon. Captured. This and that. And then you see people starting to be like, Daddy God, we told you. And you saw the cops folk like, oh, even the black guy that was a cop kind of was like,
Ooh, this ain't a
ooh,
good look for
this ain't a
us.
good look. And then the next thing that happens is he pulls the young daughter to say, "Hey, come here real quick, man. I need to talk to you." He says, "Yeah, man, guns open, whatever." He said, "Come here real quick." He was like, "Yeah, I know you sold us out." Shot and killed that dude. The black dude that the half burnt face
He was like,
saw
"Hey
that.
yo,
Hey
what
yo,
the hell
what?
are you doing?"
And he's like, "Hey man, let's get the roundy. Let's go. Let's." And he's like, "Okay." And this is the second time he done seen some stuff where he like, hey yo, I ain't cool with doing this, like I thought we just hunting vigilantes. And man, all hell is breaking loose. They out there fighting and everything. And while all this goes on, Kingpin, Buck is able to get Kingpin out of City Hall. In City Hall, and what happens? Fisk goes down to his little hideaway where he was holding that one guy prisoner, and he's staring at the painting from when he
Rabbit
first
in a
met
snowstorm.
Rabbit in the Snowstorm for Vanessa. And I was like, you know what? This is the last thing he really has of her that he can hold on to. And he's sitting there, he's just contemplating. And the next thing you know, hey Wilson, let's talk. I knew you'd be here. And he was like, I'm sorry for your loss. Did you come to say that or something else? And he's just like, hey man, we gotta stop this, man. It's getting out of control. She was like, look, how about you leave New York and I leave New York and we good. And then I said to myself, self, is this how Daredevil ends up in San Francisco for She-Hulk? But no, I don't. That ain't how it happens. And they're having a conversation, and he proceeds to tell Daredevil basically, "This is my block. I ain't going nowhere." and
Bro, like strong Marlowe vibes with him. He's
yeah,
like, you went a long way. It's gonna be
uh-huh.
the other way.
Price of the brick just went up. Yeah, that's what he basically told. Price
He
of the
said,
brick
hey
just
man,
went.
ain't no more meetings.
Ain't no more meetings. And by the way, price of the brick done going up. What? If you don't know, watch The Wire. Greatest,
One of
one
the
of the
best
greatest
shows ever.
shows
But
ever.
nah, man, like
And
so
go
so
ahead.
they down there and they just it's instantly it's a fight. And like Tony
Yeah.
alluded to earlier, like sometimes you forget that like Kingpin is like super strong for no reason.
Uh huh.
And they're going at it, and he's beating the shit out of Daredevil.
Uh huh.
And Daredevil finally is like, all right, yeah, now I gotta bring out my nunchucks. So he's doing like it's one scene where he throws them and it ricochets off and it hits him and he catches it, hits him again.
Uh
I
huh.
was like, damn, they doing some crazy work with them little, like
Uh huh.
baton nunchucks.
Uh huh.
And he finally
Yo,
tries to
that
hit
that
him
that
and he
kill
just
shot he gave him, not the, where he didn't kill him, but where he took the thing whoop, and it boloed around his neck and he hit his neck, and then he pulled himself and gave Kingpin the wickedest knee to the face. I said, "Good God!" Navy was like, there you
I was
go.
like, bro, that look like it hurt for real.
In the
And
process, destroyed the painting too, as
destroyed the
well. And
painting, had more blood on the painting.
huh.
It's yeah, like it was like that fight was crazy. And how did it end?
It ended when back at City Hall, where all hell is breaking loose.
Oh yeah, because
Ayala
yeah,
homeboy
yeah, yeah,
got
yeah,
hit in
yeah.
the head with a baton. And I was like, oh, damn, they done killed the boy upside the head with a baton. And she stopped. And then Karen is out there. Karen checks on him and is like, oh, he's okay. Just go get some help. And you hear, well, well, well.
Hold on, but even
She,
before then, when they was running,
uh,
somebody hit her and like knocked her wig off.
yeah, knocked her wig off and the
I don't know
mask
if
that
they
she had.
hit it or they snatched it off. Either way, it was like, and
Yeah.
she's like,
So she's exposed now. She don't have the
yeah,
black
yeah,
wig bob no more. She got
yeah,
the red hair
yeah.
out. And my man saw her and was like, oh, oh, oh. And you see that he's about to arrest her. And all that big bad talk went away, didn't it, Rashad? She,
She ain't trying
oh,
to shoot him.
oh, oh. Hands up. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
She
hands up, don't
hands up,
shoot.
don't shoot. She sure was. Yeah, I said, uh-huh. So yeah, man. I mean, on top of the fact too, we forgot to talk about the conversation with Karen and
Bullseye.
Bullseye when he finally comes to, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill you," and he's like, "Do it, please do it. Like I want to die." He says, "Look here, I didn't want to kill your friend. She held me hostage and made me. That's the only reason why he's dead and gone because of me and because of her. She's gone now. My mission. Please kill me, please. Type thing with that." episode was a solid episode, minus the few little hiccups that we have with some character development on some things. Next week is the penultimate episode.
Yeah, this is a good. This is the perfect lead in because
Mm-hmm.
now we have Daredevil and Kingpin
Uh-huh.
having their fight.
Uh-huh.
Kingpin now again having the upper hand over Daredevil because I got your girl.
Yeah.
Also, the CIA
Uh-huh.
is about to really try to come through
On
and
Kingpin.
get their stuff. And when Charles finds out that all his guns got blown up by Daredevil and Jessica Jones, that's gonna be funny as hell.
And you know what though? He's not gonna blame them. That's gonna be a
Mm-mm.
Kingpin thing.
Oh, definitely. Oh,
That's
absolutely.
gonna be a
He
king.
should have never moved him. Yeah.
Never should have moved him or whatever. Yeah. So let's look at some of the things we have going into the penultimate episode. The battle between Daredevil and Kingpin. Like, where does that leave off at? Last we saw, Kingpin got knocked out. He didn't kill him. Then you have all hell breaking loose at the city hall. The public now knows that these people were, you know what I'm saying,
Locked up in cages.
were locked up in cages and stuff. The AVTF has Karen on top of that. Um Daniel and BB's relationship, what's going to happen with that situation? You know what I'm saying? Is he going to think now, oh, maybe she didn't have anything to do with this, considering all hell broke loose and she won't out there or nothing like that? And then you have Buck and Dr. Glenn with her crazy self, you know what I'm saying? Along with, like you said, the CIA, and then you have the people at play in the city and in the state of New York trying to get Fisk out of there. This is all going to be good leading up to this episode to possibly a great season finale.
Yeah, and think about the people who we still can help, like Swordsman still can help.
Mm-hmm.
We still got just any random person that's been in the show so far can easily come back and try to look out. I'm excited. I'm
Right.
excited to see
And then right after this is over, it's going right into the Punisher, the last
Last
kill.
Kill, May 12th. Good
Mm-hmm.
time, man. It's
Mm.
a good time for us.
Yes,
But
yes,
yeah, that's
yes.
all we got for this one, man. The boys, it was like episode 4, I think.
Yeah, episode 4.
Season finale of Invincible. We will get
Mm-hmm.
to Invincible
Mm-hmm.
hopefully by this weekend or
Mm-hmm.
earlier, but we'll let y'all know. Um, Personally, I've been watching Silo. It's a great show.
Mm-hmm.
Season 3 starts in July, I believe. Um, Shout out Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah.
You know, our 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 mother.
Yeah.
Um,
Only other thing I'm watching is Euphoria season episode 2 just dropped for the final season for that. Once again, this is just a solid crazy show. You know, as I always say when this show comes out, Zendaya just showed you how fantastic of an actress she is, and yeah, this is some good time for television or whatever. Um, we just
Absolutely.
we just had Cinecon just drop. They just did their thing last week. A lot of reviews on the private screenings of trailers and stuff. They were saying that the trailer for Doomsday was amazing. Apparently, they are re-releasing
Avengers in August.
Avengers Endgame,
Endgame.
and they said that something did change in there that's going to be vital to what happens with Doomsday.
Doomsday.
You know, Comic Con is coming up soon, so and they say Marvel will be at Comic Con again full force.
Yeah,
So we
Comic
about
Con
to,
is like July, man. Like it's
yeah,
shit about to be so long. So it's gonna be
yeah,
Comic Con and D23 this year.
yeah. And then of course on the Star Wars tip, what celebration is in Tokyo this year.
Celebration is next year in LA.
Ne- in LA. Was it this supposed to be something in Tokyo with Star Wars or am
That
I
was
tripping?
last year.
That was last year. Okay, cool. So, we're about to start seeing some stuff. This is like get ready to go into the season to seeing stuff that's coming out at the end of this year, also showing stuff that's coming out next year as well for 2027 or whatever. So yeah.
Mike review on Monday.
What's that?
Michael.
Yes, forgot about that. Michael review coming. Um, me and Rashad gonna have that because you
I'm gonna have a ball.
have a ball.
My review on Monday. Hopefully, Nani be back from drill because I
Yeah,
know she gonna talk about it too.
yeah.
But yeah, man, that's all we got for this one, man. We appreciate y'all. Till next time.